It was meant to be a very solemn, a very somber occasion. At the opening of the National War Memorial in Delhi today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, however, decided to open up an all-out attack on the Congress and pitch the Gandhi family as the opponents who always shortchanged the armed forces, whether it's bulletproof jackets to choppers and now the Rafale fighter jet. Is it the nation first or the family first, he questioned during his address. With just weeks to go for the national elections, the occasion clearly acquired a political turn. Even before him, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her speech said, "What we need today is your trust in the Prime Minister." The question that we're asking tonight is whether an occasion like this warranted a political speech of this nature. Let's listen in to what the Prime Minister said.
आखिर वो कौन सी वजह थी जिसकी वजह से किसी का ध्यान शहीदों के लिए स्मारक पर नहीं गया? भाई और बहनों, इंडिया फर्स्ट या फैमिली फर्स्ट? इंडिया फर्स्ट और फैमिली फर्स्ट का जो अंतर है, वही इसका जवाब है। अब यही लोग पूरी ताकत लगा रहे हैं कि भारत में राफेल विमान आ ही ना सके। साथियों, अगले कुछ महीनों में जब देश का पहला राफेल भारत के आसमान में उड़ान भरेगा, तो खुद ही इनका सारी कोशिशों का, साजिशों को ध्वस्त कर देगा। मोदी याद रहे न रहे, परंतु इस देश के करोड़ों लोगों के त्याग, तपस्या, समर्पण, वीरता और उनकी शौर्य गाथा अजर अमर रहनी ही चाहिए।
Well, the Prime Minister there speaking a very strongly politically loaded speech there at the launch of the National War Memorial, something that India has been talking about and waiting for decades. It's meant to be a tribute to India's fallen soldiers, and instead it ended up essentially turning into a political battleground. Joining us tonight from the Congress, we have Senior Leader, former Minister Manish Tiwari, also with us Ambassador K.C. Singh, Senior Journalist Aarti Jairath is with us, and author Shantanu Gupta, who is of course sympathetic to the BJP's point of view, is here in the studio with us. Aarti Jairath, to you first. You know, a lot of commentary on the Prime Minister using this occasion to make an election speech. You think it was the right place to do this?
Absolutely not, Nidhi. You know, unlike our neighbor Pakistan, where the army is very deeply involved in politics, our army has always been apolitical and non-partisan. And for them, it's been duty first. The nation comes first, obviously, because they serve the nation. So it doesn't really matter to them which government is in power. They serve the nation. Now, to drag the army into the, you know, sort of electoral battlefield, into politics, I think is very unfortunate, and not just unfortunate, Nidhi, it's a very dangerous trend. It's a very dangerous trend because if you end up politicizing an apolitical force, I mean, we don't know where it's going to lead to. So, I mean, I think that, you know, this was really a solemn occasion, and, you know, it was so nice actually. They had a multi-faith prayer, they had these rose petals, and, you know, everything. It was such a nice occasion, and then it gets marred with all this politics and, you know, the sort of, you know, the stink of election campaigning. I mean, I really think it was it was not the right place.
Shantanu, who's sitting next to you, what do you think? Because obviously the Prime Minister has a right to raise certain issues that he thinks are valid political issues on the campaign trail, but honestly, do you think that this was the right place to do that?
I think if it would have been happening a year back, I'm sure Prime Minister will be speaking the same. We have heard about American war memorials, German war memorials, Korean war memorials, but for some reason for last 6-7 decades, we didn't have our Indian war memorial. And it was a natural anger of Prime Minister that why in last 6-7 decades, when the requests were up from 1960, there was no war memorial. So it was a natural anger of Prime Minister, and ex-army men who were sitting, they were all clapping, rejoicing. They were not under any pressure to clap or to rejoice. So I think it was just a natural anger of the Prime Minister, a natural anger of the people, which were represented through Prime Minister's voice. And in the series, he listed the bulletproof the bulletproof jacket topic, the Bofors topic, the OROP, all the topics which are connected to the armed forces. And connecting political. Everything in the country to election trail is very unfortunate. That's why I'm saying if it would have happened a year back, 6 months back, he would have spoken the same.
The point is he's the Prime Minister of India, not the Prime Minister of the BJP.
So he was talking about Indian armed forces.
When he is the Prime Minister of India, he also can't afford to just get angry. People can get angry, but we expect the Prime Minister to lead and channel these emotions, etc. in a very mature way. So he could have said, yes, it's taken a long time for the war memorial to come, but should he have then gone into this whole litany of political allegations, is my question.
I'm saying these are not...
And he brought in Bofors.
Which is a clear political thing.
No, not just a clear political thing. I mean, yes, the BJP used it very, to successfully in one election. And as we know, in 1999, the Kargil war was won because of the Bofors gun.
I'm saying
it is a Bofors gun that actually,
the topic. No one had a problem with the Bofors gun. People have the problem with how the Bofors gun came to India and the middlemen and the corruption involved with it. No one had the problem with the technicality of Bofors. And you rightly said Bofors guns were instrumental in Kargil war. Something in this series of enumerating is, and he was representing people's anger that why when we have war memorials on every country, why can't we honor our...
Was this the place to be angry or to be somber and to be reflective?
It is a mixture of both. It was a mixture of both. He very artfully described the whole war memorial, all the chakras, how 25,000 plus names are inscribed, how the busts are made.
Does he ever stop campaigning?
Very artfully, he's a politician. He's a politician. Every politician on every stage will speak
24 hours non-stop. Ambassador KC Singh, I just want to ask you before I take this to Manish. It's interesting today. I think a lot of people were expecting that because the Prime Minister was speaking at the war memorial, because it also came a day after Imran Khan's statement about giving peace a chance, etc. Do you sense a kind of a shift in the tone? The Prime Minister didn't talk about Pakistan today. He didn't talk about revenge for Pulwama and all of that. And do you sense a shift, where the narrative seems to be going somewhere else post Pulwama, and that too is very significant?
Forgive me, Nidhi, but I must address the question of the sanctity and the appropriateness of what Prime Minister did. I was frankly flabbergasted because this is a national memorial. There's a sanctity. This is a sacred place where you are commemorating the lives of people and the death of people who didn't die for a BJP or RSS or Congress or anything. They died for a unified country, and they died for the whole country. This is not the time to open up political wounds. National Memorial, I remember Canberra National War Memorial, you go to that, there's a plaque outside which tells you the conditions of entry. And the last condition on that is, it shall not be used for any political activity which may offend other people, because these are sacred places. And secondly, is this the time to be sending a message to Pakistan that we are fighting with each other? This was a great opportunity for Prime Minister to weld the country together, to speak on behalf of the country. In fact, the opposition has largely lined up behind him. They have not criticized him for intelligence mistakes, for why it happened or how it happened. And this would have been a great moment for him to rise above it and become a statesman. And he just remained a BJP leader. Ultimately, he just brought down, and one last point, Article 53 of the Constitution makes the President the Supreme Commander of the Indian Defence Forces. Why was the Supreme Commander not there? Why was the President of India not present there? Because in him, all the civil, military, everything of the country unites as per the Constitution. His presence was a must when you're commemorating a memorial. This is not a prime ministerial thing.
Pretty strong words from you, Ambassador Singh, and I'm going to come back to you with the question I originally asked in just a moment. But Manish Tiwari, the question is...
No, let me just add. Nidhi, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Nidhi, just want to add very quickly. Nidhi, I have two grandparents, both my maternal grandfather and my paternal. They wore the uniform. So that's why I am that agitated.
Well, I can see that. And Manish Tiwari, we've seen ever since the Uri attack, this whole narrative about the Congress politicizing, surgical strikes, the Congress politicizing the army, the Congress politicizing the armed forces. I'm honestly asking today, who is actually politicizing the armed forces?
Well, Nidhi, there is a time and place for everything. And there is a time and place for politics also. And there's a time and place when politics has to cease or has to recess itself. And the consecration of the National War Memorial, which commemorates the sacrifice and the heroism of all those people who laid down their lives for India from 1947 till 2019, was certainly not the occasion to do that. The Prime Minister, has been in a campaign mode ever since he became Prime Minister on 26th of May 2014. But that does not give him the license to use a very sacred and a solemn occasion like this and to politicize it in such a debased manner. I mean, for the lack of a better word, it's extremely disgusting. And to take off from where Ambassador K.C. Singh left, the President of India is the Supreme Commander of the Indian Defence Forces. And that's a position which is constitutionally ordained, as Ambassador K.C. Singh was rightly pointing out. Why is it that the President of India was not present at the dedication of the National War Memorial? Did the government not consider it appropriate? Did the government not think it fit to invite the President and the Vice President of India? So therefore, it's very apparent that the Prime Minister wanted to utilize this to score some political brownie points and make some extremely cheap shots and deliver this very low-level political diatribe. I don't think it behoves the office of the Prime Minister. But then Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has never believed in those niceties at all. I think it sent out a terrible message today that the National War Memorial, its consecration, its dedication has been utilized in this cavalier manner. And I think if it does not insult the Congress party or doesn't insult the Jawans, it doesn't insult the opposition. It insults those millions or those hundreds of martyrs, who've laid down their lives for India. It insults their heroism. Okay. It insults their sacrifice. It insults the contribution which the armed forces have made towards to preserving the unity and integrity of India. Okay, and so I think if the Prime Minister has any magnanimity, he should reflect and he should actually apologize to the martyrs for what he has done today.
Well, Shantanu, taking that back to you.
Almost laughable.
Why is it laughable?
It's laughable because why is Mr. Manish Tiwari's whole government and all the Congress supporters, maybe on your channel or your viewers, are they not feeling ashamed that they are not able to come up with such a war memorial in last 70 years? They are still stuck with the semantics that, okay, this person was not there, why this was spoken, why this was not spoken. Why they are not telling that why this war memorial, which was requested by the armed forces in 1960, was not there up till there, and even the concept was not there 2006. 2006 they start talking, they're still not able to finish in 2014. Why everything has to happen during Narendra Modi government?
May I?
And you're still stuck in semantics. Why he spoke this, why he spoke this, why he was present, why he was not present.
It's not
semantics. Why the war memorial? The core thing is 40 acres. The core thing is 40-acre war memorial. Now the whole nation will watch the war memorial.
Manish Tiwari has
the speeches will go in. The speeches will come and go, but the war memorial is there, which was not there from last 7 years.
Speeches will come and go. The war memorial is there, Manish Tiwari, which apparently you guys failed to do.
70 years.
Nidhi, nobody has a quibble with the government actually building a national war memorial in Delhi. In fact, before this war memorial was built, you had the Amar Jawan Jyoti, the eternal flame, where the President of India and the other dignitaries used to go and pay homage
the request of the armed forces was wrong.
There is a war memorial in Chandigarh. He's
trying to say that the request of armed forces was
Please do not interrupt. I did not interrupt you. Please hear it in entirety. There is a war memorial in Chandigarh, which commemorates the sacrifice of our braves. There are war memorials at other places in the country. Yes, it is correct. There wasn't a war memorial of this size in Delhi. But to say that a war memorial was completely absent is erroneous. What is the Amar Jawan Jyoti? Isn't the Amar Jawan Jyoti a war memorial?
As per Congress, there was no need for the war memorial.
But my point is different. My point is the Prime Minister could have raised the issue of the absence of a war memorial without having to launch into a full-fledged political attack, which possibly the occasion did not demand that. Aarti.
Not at all. And Shantanu, may I also please remind you that for 6 years we had a BJP-led government. If the request was pending since 1960, what was the BJP government doing between 1998 and 2004 when it was in power? You know, I mean, I don't think you can just blame the Congress for dragging its feet. Clearly, that government didn't do anything very much either, according to you. So and the only person who has done anything is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I mean,
it's a real memorial. We are not talking about a concept or a model. It's a real memorial. You and me can go right now and watch it.
And it's a great thing. But
exactly. Just praise that.
Please
praise that topic over. It's not even a topic of debate. Why he spoke this?
Why didn't the BJP government
for some reason?
Why didn't the BJP?
It's just semantics. Why he spoke this? Why, like a kid after end of a lovely movie? Why he was not there? Why he was sneezing? Why
it's not semantics.
That is exactly
what you all are doing. Why
the president is the supreme commander of the armed forces. It's a big deal. It's under our constitution.
I'm sure one can check it. There must be some logistic issue. The dates might not be matching. There must be some logistic issue.
May I come in for a moment?
Manish, 1 second. Who is politicizing the armed forces, Shantanu? Honestly, who did National Surgical Strikes Day? Who has milked the surgical strikes politically in election rally after saying that the opposition shouldn't be talking about them? Has it not been the BJP?
I mean, if someone is saying the surgical strikes are fake, give me the proof, and the political party is replying back.
Who said it was fake?
I'm saying Congress leaders.
Who said?
I'm saying,
did they say it was fake?
They're saying, give me the proof. When I'm asking the proof, meaning that I don't believe on it.
What is National Surgical Strikes Day? Is it not the politicization of an
army?
It's
just giving a recognition to an event which has not happened in recent history.
Of course it has happened. It has happened many times in the past, and previous army chiefs have spoken about it.
I'm saying because
so who politicized it?
Why making a national day on a surgical strike on which a movie is made? I'm saying why not a movie is made till now? Because something of that consequence not happened before.
It has happened before, actually. I'll do a Google search. There are many surgical strikes that have happened.
Not of this nature, not of this nature and this size. Not of this nature and this size.
Please look at what former army chiefs have said. The point is, I'm asking who, at the end of the day, who is politicizing the armed forces? It is very much the BJP. And KC Singh, the point is that Aarti...
By giving OROP, by giving Rafale to the country, by giving National War Memorial to the country, if you think that's politicization, that politicization helping the country.
Wait, Manish, give me a second. I want to ask KC Singh about that. I think it's very clear that Mr. Modi is very unapologetic about the fact that he is a campaigner 24/7. He has used, we're talking about the National War Memorial, but he has gone abroad and attacked the opposition. As Prime Minister, he has gone and, addressed the Indian diaspora and launched a full-scale, domestic political attack. I think we are not realizing that he's not someone who cares for convention and protocol, and at the end of the day, wouldn't you agree?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, Ambassador Singh.
No, of course, that's the point I made all along, and I'm surprised that the person who's defending BJP here, he obviously has not read history. 1971 is a proper strike when a country is broken into two parts and you have 90,000 prisoners. Now, you are asking questions as if nothing was done in the past. Now, surgical strike is a movie. Why nobody went around making a movie on 1971? Because they were not politicizing it. The whole nation, the will was of the whole nation. It's not of any political party. He's missing a fundamental point. Today, when we have an outstanding issue with Pakistan, people don't know what kind of a strike it will be and what will be the consequences. Is the time for PM to have brought the nation together? Was it a time to be becoming absolutely partisan and to be just, attacking anybody and everybody? This was not the time and the occasion at all. I mean, leave aside the other things. And why not the president? He says we are talking about why somebody was... He's not somebody, Mr. Sudhanshu or whatever your name is. He's the president of India. You can't just call him somebody. Yeah, what respect? You're saying somebody was not invited. President is somebody, according to you. He's the first citizen of this country. And you're not even apologetic for not inviting him.
Could have changed the date, I think, to accommodate the president.
There's no logistical issue in this. I've worked for a president for 4 years. President takes precedence in military matters where protocol is involved. Why do you think he takes the salute on 26 January?
Nidhi, the
That
topic
means
should
Modi
be
start
today
taking
why the
salute
war
there
memorial
also.
was not there for 70
Why
years. For
does
some
he-
reason, no
why
one,
does the pre-
no one
Yes,
is
why
asking
does
that
the president
question.
take-
No,
To
including
Mr.
the
Manish
Why
Tiwari,
does the
why
president
can't we
take
ask
the
some
salute?
question to Mr. Manish Tiwari and Congress?
Please answer
Why
the
the war
question.
memorial is not there?
And let
He is
us
evading.
ask
It's not necessary. Amar
President
Jawan Jyoti is there.
26
Chandigarh mein hai, Nagpur mein hai. He is evading
Nidhi,
the
may I
question.
come
Why
in for
can't
a
you ask him
moment?
why the memorial was not there?
Let
Read
us
the tweet
ask
of
you,
General VK Singh.
Shantanu, why didn't
Hear
the
me out.
BJP, why
Read
did
the
the
tweet of
BJP
General VK
government
Singh
do
that
it?
in
Why does
2013,
President take the
2013,
May I
he
answer
brought the
that
topic with
straight off the
UPA,
bat?
but it fell on deaf ears. This was the word of General VK Singh, the
Manish Tiwari,
highest,
Manish Tiwari.
officer within our forces.
Manish Tiwari.
Nidhi, may I come in? You know, this semi-state actor or this proxy who's batting for the Bharatiya Janata Party, you know, seems to have a very selective memory. Let me take you back to 26/11, when the 26/11 attack was unfolding on the 28th of November 2008 at 10:34 in the morning. The then Chief Minister of Gujarat flew to Mumbai and used the hotels as a backdrop to launch a diatribe against the then UPA government when our security forces were still battling terrorists in those 3 hotels. So therefore, politicization has been the sine qua non of Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi and his approach to national security, and that's why Arunachal Pradesh is in a mess. Jammu and Kashmir
He's already answered that, Shantanu.
He's not. He's saying Chandigarh, Nagpur, Amar Jawan Jyoti.
He said he's given you an
You've been
answer.
doing hoops and
You don't have to agree with him.
U-turns and flip-flops. That's your Pakistan policy. And on the National War Memorial, let me ask a straight question. Was the Amar Jawan Jyoti, or is the Amar Jawan Jyoti the eternal flame which burns 24/7? Is that not a war memorial? Haven't we been paying respect to our fallen soldiers out there for the last so many years? What about the war memorial in Chandigarh? Does the gentleman even know that there's a war memorial in Chandigarh? Does this gentleman even know that there are war memorials in other parts of the country? Yes, you built a big war memorial. We welcome it because we all need to pay respect to people who've sacrificed their lives for this country. But we certainly do not want a Prime Minister who uses such a solemn occasion to launch these low political diatribes against their opponents.
Well,
he could have gone and done it from any other stage. You know, we have an election coming up. So the difficulty is the misutilization of a national occasion for parties and petty political purposes.
I think more than ever before, this country actually needs to unite after a horrific terror attack like the one in Pulwama. But unfortunately, what is happening after Pulwama, and we did an entire show on this just a few days ago, is that we just seem to be attacking each other and increasingly getting more and more divided. And I think that really is the great tragedy of what has happened after this terror attack. Thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. We'll